Shannon Sharpe, man. I feel like I know way too motherfucking much about Shannon Sharpe, and I want him to get on the internet and just
delete all that shit. Delete all that shit. That's playing with you, piggy.
I'm so upset that I know so much about Shannon Sharpe. This ain't none of my business. I wish Shannon Sharpe would just leave all of us out of the motherfucking group chat. But Shannon Sharpe is okay, so he's already stepped away from ESPN while he deals with a sexual assault lawsuit where he's being sued to the tune of $50 million. God damn! Yeah, man. So we get this here from NBC News. It says the football great Shannon Sharpe said Thursday that he will step aside temporarily from his duties at ESPN in the wake of a $50 million lawsuit accusing him of rape. The 56-year-old former Denver Broncos tight end said that he needs time away from the studios to fight allegations that he called false and disruptive. At this juncture, I'm electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties, he said in a statement. The first NFL exhibition game is set for July 31st, with the regular season likely to kick off on Thursday, September 4th. He hopes to be back behind the mic by then. I will be devoting this time to my family and responding to dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me, Sharpe said. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL season. An ESPN representative said that Sharpe, a frequent panelist on the show First Take, is right to take a break from the cable sports outfit. This is a serious situation, and we agree with Shannon's decision to step away. A woman filed a lawsuit in Nevada on Sunday accusing Sharpe of raping her twice in Las Vegas in October and one more time in January, according to the suit. The woman says she was 19 years old in 2023 when she first met Sharpe in a Los Angeles gym, leading to a rocky consensual relationship of nearly 2 years in which she was frequently aggressive in which he was frequently aggressive and raped her, according to the Clark County civil complaint. Sharpe has denied the allegations. Now, we do have, of course, video of Sharpe and his statement that he put out in reference to these allegations. So let me go ahead and pull this up so you guys can watch right along with your man Spann. Here we go. Let's see what Shannon Sharpe has to say here. I'm sure you guys have probably heard it, but we're going to hear it again. Uh-oh. Oh, play that, Spann. Here we go.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Buzbee want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
All right. So, one of the things I thought was interesting here is that, like, he brought up Tony Buzbee and, Tony Busby's involvement with the case involving Jay-Z and Diddy. We know that Jay-Z came out very strongly against Tony Buzbee. The case against him had been thrown out, considering some of the things that the young lady in that particular case said, like, where some of the facts weren't necessarily adding up, right? And so one of the things that Shannon Sharpe leaned into was Tony Buzbee goes at the black man. And again, this becomes one of those things where they're leaning into the protection of the black community, right? I got into trouble with some whites with these white folks. I'm gonna lean into my blackness right now, so my people can come up behind me and have my back on this, right? And it's weird, right? Because over the course of the last, I want to say maybe year or so, Like I feel as though we know way too motherfucking much about how Shannon Sharpe like to get down in the bedroom, man. Like it's none of my business. It's none of our business, and I think we've all learned this shit against our will, right? You know, there was speculation and talk, internet speculation about whether or not Shannon Sharpe was gay because of how he dresses, because of how he walks, because of whom he finds himself around. I believe, you know, I feel like this. Shannon Sharpe is what, 50 something. He's in his late 50s. You can't be worried about how people think. What's the word that I'm looking for, man? You can't be worried about whether or not how people think you get down as a man, right? Like, if you're secure in who you are as a man, you can't be worried about all these strangers and whether or not they think of you in a certain way or not, man. Like, hey, man, you talk football, you talk sports, man. You have these interviews with these comedians and these public figures, man. Like, you can't be worrying about, like, what these randos on the internet are thinking about how you get down sexually. You can't, right? But I think to some degree, like, that did worry him. I think to some degree that did uh uh bother him, that people saw him in a certain way. Where, to the point where, like, that whole thing where he's having sex on Instagram Live and is broadcasting to the world, and now he's got to come out and say how he didn't know that he was on live, and like all this other shit, and that becoming a thing where, like, that could be that was a thing that could have been a problem for him in his job at ESPN and everything else. But he was able to kind of get past that, right? But even then, when he was able to get past that, he goes on a nightcap show with Ocho Cinco, and he's like, "Yo, Unc, get in." You know what I'm saying? Like, Unc, get in. And it's like, all right, bro, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who you trying to prove this to. At a certain point, it's like, yo, you too old to be trying to prove this to prove anything to anybody, really, right? But then this comes down. And this comes down after some reports had come out that said that Shannon Sharpe was poised to get $100 million deal for his Club Shay Shay podcast that he does on YouTube and everything else. And then this lawsuit comes down, right? Damn. See, the thing is, people found out that the girl that he was involved with was 19 years old. And at the time, he was 56 when they first got involved sexually. God damn! Yeah. She was 19. He's 56. Now, I try not to yuck anybody's yum. I do. How you get down, two consenting adults, I get it. How y'all get down is how y'all get down. I would be lying to you if I didn't say that I thought that being a 56-year-old man and sharing the bed with a 19-year-old girl was a bit creepy. Now, I've had some discussions with people who tend to think that, well, she's of age, therefore she's fair game, and they don't think anything past that, right? I'm 45. My daughter is 22. If I were a single man, there is nothing me and a 19-year-old girl would have in common. Even if she looked good, she's 19. She's 19. Something about that, to me, doesn't sit right. I understand that to others, they don't care, despite the fact that they may have a daughter that age or younger. They don't care. This is why R. Kelly was able to operate with impunity within the community, because so many people didn't think anything was wrong with that sort of thing. Many of these folks are the same ones who can't wait to tell you that the minute R. Kelly gets out of jail, they going to buy a ticket to the concert. because they don't see an issue with this sort of shit. But not only that, Shannon Sharpe was actually acting as though we tripping, right? So like it came up on his nightcap show that he does with Ocho Cinco. And
everybody always talk about date your age. What?
Yeah. This came up.
Everybody always talk about date your age.
This came up. So let me pull this up so you guys can see. Give me a second here while I share this. Let me do this. All right. So this came up because people were giving Shannon shit about how old girl was, or how old the young lady was that he was dealing with. And this is how he addressed it on Club Shay Shay. I'm sorry, not Club Shay Shay, Nightcap that he does with Ocho Cinco. He thought he was saying something deep. It ain't that deep.
Everybody always talk about date your age. Well, I want to date my wage.
What the fuck does that even mean? I want to date my wage. What the fuck does that even mean? Right? Does that mean you want to date someone who makes the same kind of money you do? And if you do date someone who makes the same kind of money you do you get to do the same things to her that you was doing to this young lady? Does it come with some other expectations when you're dating someone who makes your wage? Right? What does this even mean? So you're being defiant in the face of the fact that this 19-year-old girl is saying, nah, nigga, you was taking it when you wasn't supposed to. You were raping me. This is what she's alleging. Right? So not only was she young as hell, but she's also white. So then you come to the black community, ask the black community to stand behind you because Tony Busby targets black men. Meanwhile, you involved yourself in a situation with a young white girl while you were doing race play with her. Those text messages that were coming out, it was all about the race play. You want us to get involved in some shit that you put yourself in. Make that make sense.
Shut all this ish down tonight. I want to date my wage.
Stay right there.
Where y'all at? Hey, chat, where they at?
Hold on. Cause you know I keep it on me now.
Yeah.
I keep it on me. You want to date your what?
I want to date my wage. Not my age. I want to date my wage. So where are they? Cause y'all always talking about date your age. I want to date my wage. So come on with it.
Well, you talking?
As a matter of fact, I'm taking applicants.
Bruh, what are you talking about? You the one in a situation where you got a $50 million lawsuit against you saying that you raped somebody. And the people who would normally just be behind you are like, wait, what the fuck was you doing with this 19-year-old girl though? So now you mad at the people who were like, wait, who got some reservations about it? Make that make sense. And this is what I'm talking about, man. That conspicuous, convenience. The conspicuous convenience of trying to lean into that black protection, man. You went out here dealing with a young white girl. That young white girl accuses you of rape. Wants $50 million for compensation of you, for you raping her. Now, there are folks who have qualms about the fact that she went to the civil court and not the criminal court, right? Y'all know the burden of proof is less in the criminal court. Is less in a civil court than in a criminal court. The chances of her getting, or any rape victim, so to speak, more often than not, the chances of them getting any level of justice oftentimes come in the civil courts. Because of the nature of sexual crimes, oftentimes it's her word against his. But the fact that Shannon Sharpe is out here being defiant, talking about, I want to date my wage, not my age, while you have a sexual assault allegation against you with a 19-year-old girl. Like, bro, what are you doing? What are you talking about? I don't get it. And even with this, like when it comes to him selling the sex pills, to this, to the Instagram shit where he goes live. All of this shit is stuff about Shannon Sharpe's sexual proclivities I did not learn because I wanted to learn them. All of this shit we learned because they were put in front of us. We learned all of this shit against our fucking will. All of it. But I want people to be, I want people to be aware of how. So like, even with this, right? Even with this, people will think that this is a concerted effort to take down yet another black man. This is a black man who put himself in a position to be taken down. Right? We don't always have to take bullets. We don't always have to take these bullets for these dudes, man. Because they do it at their own convenience. They lean into their blackness at their own convenience. We don't keep having to, as a community, we don't have to keep taking bullets for these dudes when they put themselves in situations, of their own making. We don't have to keep doing that shit. Real talk. Ah, shit. Now, on a case of some real fucking racism.